Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example of navigateByUrl method, where we will see how to execute a URL with some parameters. Yes, there might be some requirement in a project where you are supposed to pass the parameter from a route. So in that situation, how we call the parameter, how we execute the URL with some parameter. These all things we are going to discuss in this particular session. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. Okay. And for referring the session in sequential way, like you can refer the Tech Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available for all of you in the description box. So from there you can take the reference and you can learn a lot. Not only for Angular, like there are 3000 plus resources for other technologies also. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I think we are good to start with today's session. Here you can see we have one heading that shows Angular 19 course by Tech Sharmit. Then we will write here second heading, that is navigate by URL with capital B by URL, and here hyphen navigate with URL with parameter in Angular. So this is our main heading that we are going to learn about the navigate by URL method. Let me write it as method to navigate with parameter in Angular. Now to demonstrate this thing, let me put one horizontal row also, so that these headings will be separated out from the actual content which we are going to write here. Now to demonstrate this example, what we will do, we will simply make use of some components. So here you can see I have already created some components like about component, contact component, not found component, and services component. And in this example we are going to use the about component. Okay, so how to create this component? So let's say if you don't know anything about the component, although like there is a detailed video where we have covered everything related to component, but in case if you have not watched it yet, so let me give you a hint that you can run one command, that is ng for Angular, g generate, c component, and the name of the component would be about. And then when you press enter over here, it will simply create a about component with 4 files: css, html, spec.ts, and component.ts. Okay, so these are the 4 files that will be considered as a component parts. Okay, now to perform this example, what we will do, like here I kept everything as the same, like default css file is blank, html file. Here just I made one change, like instead of paragraph about works, I just made it as a heading about page. That's the only change I made here. Same thing I made, similar changes I did in this other component, like here instead of writing paragraph contact works, I change it as h1 contact page. Okay, fine. Now this thing is ready. Now next what we will be doing, like component is ready, so it's time to define the route. So to define the route, what we will do, we will go to app.route.ts file where we have this array. So you can simply expand it. By default it comes unexpanded, so you can expand it and then you can define the route. So here what we will do, we will write path, then colon. In path I will write here about. You just need to write here about, then slash colon id. Okay, so this is the thing that I have defined, then a comma, and then the name of the component. So I want to move to the about component itself, so I will write like this. Okay, so this thing is ready. Make sure to put comma after this, so that in case if you want to specify any other path, you can specify like this in this format. Okay, but we are not going to specify other path as of now. We have just one path that is needful for us, so I'll just remove it from extra thing from here. Okay, so this thing is ready. So what we did so far, we created the component, we configured the route, and now it's time to make use of this route using app.component.ts file. So let's go there, and here like firstly we will import the router outlet because this is the thing that will help us to see the output. So I will write here router outlet, press enter, and after pressing enter it will show you that it is imported here successfully. If it is not, make sure to import it, because without its import without importing it, you won't be able to use of it. You are not supposed to use it. Okay, fine. So this thing is ready. Now we will define here constructor, where we will define the private, that is a keyword. Then we will mention here the name of like this router, and here we will write router and press enter. So once you press enter, it will be imported here in this import area. Import. Okay, fine. So this is a constructor, so we will put opening closing parenthesis, and then we will define the method that will help us to navigate to a particular route with some parameters. So here I will give the name accordingly. Go to about with parameter, or maybe you can write with ID to make it simple, or let's make it parameter only so that you can understand. We are going to send parameter, then opening closing parenthesis, curly braces open close, and here we will write this dot router dot navigate method. Like if you remember, this same thing we can implement with router.navigate method also, which we already discussed, but here we are learning about the navigateByUrl method. So I kept like this. Okay, and here we know that it's quite simple. You just need to pass it as a string. So here you can pass /about/10. Now what is this 10? This 10 is just a value that we want to pass through this method. Okay, so you can say parameter in URL. Let me put a comment so that you can refer it later. Parameter in URL. Okay, so this thing is ready. Let's go to app.component.html file, where we will define the button and call this function. So here I will write go to about with ID parameter, with parameter ID equal 10. Okay, so it will show you like what exactly we are doing. This is just a text. Okay, it is not related to logic. It is just a text which I want to show on the button. Now I will define here button click method. So here we will write go with, then opening closing parenthesis, and this is ready. Now to see the output, we need to import router outlet here. Okay, so let's put it like this. Perfect. This is ready. Let's quickly run this application. ngserve -- open enter. Wait for a few seconds, and then it will show you the output on the browser. Here we can see Angular 19 goes by text Sharmit, navigated by URL method, navigate with parameter and Angular, and then we have one horizontal row, and after that we have button. Currently we are on the path user localhost :4200, but the moment when I click on the button, you can see it is navigated to about route with the user ID 10, and here also we can see the content of about route, that is about component, that is about page. Perfect. But some of you might be thinking like how to use this ID in a program. So to use it in this ID in a program, you should go to about, because this is the thing that we have passed to about component. Go to about component. Here we will write simply, you just need to write here if you remember, like in previous one also we used the same thing. Let me show you. So firstly define the use ID variable, which is nothing but a string, colon, then we will write here null. This is ready. Okay, simply we will go constructor private router colon activated route. Okay, and then you are good to go and use the curly braces over here. So here we will write this dot ID equal this dot router dot snapshot. Here we will write router dot snapshot dot param_map.get, and in get we will receive the ID that is here. Perfect. So this is ready. Now you can simply use this thing. It's in a constructor, so we are good to use it. Like you can go here and you can write ID received from app component colon, and then you can use here ID. That's it. Go to browser, you can see ID received from app component is 10. If you do a back, click again on button, it will show about page, ID received from app component is 10. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. I hope this session is clear to all of you. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.